CR7 upset when Ralph Ragnick called time up. He was thinking, how we gonna score 3 goals and my name ain't there but the line up. Prem table gotta climb up. Left Brentford manager fired up. Ralph Ragnick went 5 at the back, weren't trying to share points like prenup. CR7 upset when Ralph Ragnick called time up. He was thinking, how we gonna score 3 goals and my name ain't there but the line up. Prem table gotta climb up. Left Brentford manager fired up. Ralph Ragnick went 5 at the back, weren't trying to share points like prenup.
Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It's your boy Therms, and I'm joined today by Edwin and NK. Look, Manchester United, I can finally say we've got a win. And it feels like, you know what it is? Like, it's like, I feel like we can't say, I feel like I haven't celebrated a win in a long time. Like, I'm excited, I'm happy that we finally got 3 points under the belt. We wanted a clean sheet, it didn't happen. Like, you know what? Excuse me if you see this big grin on my face, because like, I'm excited, but I'm not getting too carried away. Like, my boy NK here was killing me on WhatsApp, yeah. Like, just doing the most, bruv. And I was just like, you know what, bro? I can't handle it. I just wanted to delete him from my life, bruv. I just thought this guy, yeah, is just doing too much, because this Man United team, yeah, they're just, you don't know what you're getting with this team, bro. But I must say, and I ain't gonna lie, the formation that we're playing now, where we've got one DM stroke holding midfielder and then two of the advanced players in front of them, I like it better. I think we look more stable. It does seem like a formation that suits us, you know what I'm saying? Like, I saw Fred getting forward, doing his thing. Bruno is obviously more reined in, you know what I mean? And he's doing less mistakes, so I like it. So guys, what was your thoughts on the game, man? What did you think of today's victory and how he performs, man? That goes up.
I think it's another typical thing, and it's a game of two halves when it comes to Man United.
Yeah.
Last time it was okay. We played well first half, then we played bad the second half, and we gave away 2 goals. Now it's like we got battered the first half. Let's be honest. Shout out to the Brentford manager. But we got outplayed. Let's be honest. Like, as much as they're saying De Gea done well, is their finishing. There's a lot. If a lot of their chances was taken properly, we would have been down 1 or 2. De Gea made good saves, don't get me wrong, but they were saves that he could make. But yeah, man, we just got.
Do you know what? Yeah, if De Gea wasn't on form, I bet you one of those goals would have went in, even though it looked like easy. If his morale was like down, you know how it was last season when we was looking at him thinking, you should have saved that. Or was it even last season or the season before that, when, you know, people were making he's making bare mistakes and was getting a lot of heat, and then it was just like, how did you let that in? And you're near post, how did you do this? I reckon, yeah, he would have let one of those goals in if his morale, but his morale's high, so he made those saves.
Yeah, so I think it was a win's a win, isn't it? So it's a good win, but it's a bit bad that our first goal was our first shot. You know what I mean? In the second half. I think people, they have to get used to the structure, and you can see, like, it's the same problem. Centre midfield, we don't have no enforcer there. That's why we just get pressed so much. You know what I mean? There's no one there to break it up. But look, 3 points. For me, the thing that was a positive was Elanga. You know what I mean? Seeing his growth. He finally got into the score sheet.
It was coming. It was coming, man. It was coming. Like, he's
and you know, I think you can see the manager. I think NK made a point about if Ragnick was basically had experience in the Premiership, right? He'll make decisions, and you can see a bit of growth from last week. Because as soon as he saw that 2-0, he brought on a defender. He thought, this ain't happening again. He brought on, and that's what NK said he should have done last week. Just park the bus 5 at the back, and that's it. And he learned. And it's good, but at least as a manager, we've seen his development. We can see, okay, look, we're 2 up, and he's actually like adapting now. You know what I mean? So you can see, okay, he's grown as well, because he learned from last week. Because the last game, like, don't like think that 2-0 is good enough. This is the Prem; anything's possible. So he brought on Maguire. So yeah, but you know, I think the positive is that he's not scared to like drop certain players. So stuff like Maguire not playing. I'm not sure how true it is, but supposedly there's a report coming out where he said that he doesn't think Maguire is good enough to play in the squad.
Luke Shaw,
yeah, so we'll see. But you know, I think partnership-wise, Lindelof and Varane will work. They just need more time together, and we just need them. Once we get stronger midfielders, but overall it was all right performance. Nothing special, to be honest.
Yeah, well said.
It could have easily lost.
No, well said. I think you touched on some key points, and I think NK could probably elaborate. Obviously, you talked about Alanga, you talked about the Varane Lindelof partnership, you talked about the manager and his comments, and I know NK was talking about. You said shout out to the manager. Obviously, NK can elaborate on that because he was saying before we went live anyway online, he was talking about what the manager was saying. So NK, like before you give your thoughts on what you saw, what recap of what the manager was, how he was moving like.
Well, the Brentford man, bro, he was moving like a waste man, bro. He's talking like now we don't know who United are, but right now, we are desperate, bro. We take anything, bro. We take anything, bro. He's out here trying to call us out, bro. Like, hey, look, game over, bro. Ain't gonna work, bro. I tell you what, if they come to Old Trafford, we're still gonna pack the bus and still beat them, bro. We're a big club and we take formation against them. What do you want us to do? Like, I still be like, and come back and make it 2-2.
Facts.
Bro, forget what you're saying, but right now, it's just one of those ones, bro. We are in a resource business, and we do whatever it takes to get the points, bro. It ain't about playing good football, and that. Like, we would love the performance, but at the end of the day, it's about getting the 3 points. I'd rather sit here and talk about how we didn't play well and still got 3 points than against Villa where we played well and we didn't get 3 points. I'd rather it was that. But today, like, beginning of the game, I just saw Raf. He was standing there in a tunnel, and before every player went out, bro, he was shaking all their hands. He was shaking. So you knew today, it was war, bro.
It's guy, bro.
War. Bro, the minute I saw that, I messaged the group and I said, look, we are not going today, bro.
You see what I mean about the sky, bro?
Nah.
Right,
a handshake. A handshake was enough for him.
Do like bam. Bro, you don't see that. That's
we got battered first half though.
But the bookies love guys like NK, you know. All it takes is a handshake for man to throw it up.
No, bro. Like,
to go all in.
You don't understand. Look, I think today's game, if we lost or drew, top four was over. It was literally over. So today was a must-win game, and you could tell that before the game, they spoke about that today. Like, boys, no matter what happened today, we are getting out here for with the 3 points. First half, honestly, we had the ball. We had the ball, but once again, we were doing what we were doing all the time, which was like passing it. And the only guy who wanted to actually create chance was Bruno. Bruno was the only one, but as you say, with Bruno, sometimes when he had to do it all by himself, he tend to rush too much. And I've had this conversation. Sometimes he just need the game to slow down for him to do certain stuff. And because he was the only one rushing it, he was just literally just misplacing some of his balls. And the chances that Brentford were gained, it was because of misplaced passes that we were just giving them for them to just like run through, which was being one of Man United's biggest chances. Like, their chances were not chances that they actually worked to create. We were literally giving them these chances by losing the balls. That's what we're doing. I think we had like 70% ball possession, but we couldn't do nothing with it. The first goal was very, very, it was good because it was as if like they knew that the only person that could literally head them from deep was Bruno. So it was only when Bruno had the ball that's when they kind of like anticipate that there was going to be a ball coming to the box. When Fred had it, and this is what I'm saying, like, those guys, Fred and McTominay, they need to do more of that. When they try those kind of like risky balls, they need to do that. They need to
support Bruno as well in trying to create.
Right, because that ball that came from Fred, they were not expecting it. So you can see that their defense went to sleep. They were expecting him to do like a square pass, but then he felt like, nah. It was a similar to kind of like the goal that he assisted for Burnley, where he done the cross. I think Aston Villa in the FA Cup, where he done it. He got a good kind of like cross or swing in him because he used to play free kick.
Now. Got his second assist. What is it? I don't even know how many he's got.
That's almost like 3 assists in like 4 games now, or 4 assists now. So he's just doing that. He needs to just take the risk. That ball caught them off guard. It caught them off guard.
What I do think about Fred though is just like him playing in that advanced position next to Bruno. Yeah, I think it's good for him. I think it's even better than Scott McTominay in a sense because he's got the energy. Even though he's got the energy to bomb forward and support attacks. Yeah, but he's also got the energy to get back so you can free him. There's no point like we're kind of subduing him. Yeah, his attacking threat, keeping him as that DM, right? Because you know when we played like two DMs, Scott McTominay and Fred, but we're actually asking them to like sit. But if there's anyone advancing, it's Scott McTominay. But I feel like Fred has got a lot to offer going forward as well, and he also helps the defense as well. He gets back.
Yeah, but the thing is, yes, you can say that too. But I think with both of them, yeah, as I said, there's a reason why we call them McFred, because both of them, if you join them together, they're still not the best of players there, but they have something in each of them that they can do. Today was the first time that Fred, in terms of like going forward, he was very okay on the ball. Like when he had the ball, he was able to dribble. He had quick feet to literally like just do like kind of like little quick kind of like trick to just kind of like go there, just kind of like pass the ball. But once again, you saw that when he have the ball and they press him, he's easily the first guy to just like lose the ball. So it's still that in him too that he can do that. McTominay, when you press him, he can still run his way out of there. But once again, one of his biggest problem is he will never like. There was a time Delo was just running there. All he had to do was just like do a long ball and he could have just switched the ball. Oh, he just literally passed the ball sideways just there. That's one of his problem too. You watch, what do you call it? The second goal. It was his long ball that started the goal. He done a long ball. It was so perfect. All Ronaldo had to do was just chest it to Bruno and then we were just through. So that's what today, McTominay as a 6, he really impressed me a lot, especially when we had the ball.
I was going to ask you that.
Have the ball when we're trying to build and create chances. Once again, he still went missing. You know, he wasn't making himself available for the ball, and when he get it too, it was always like square passes. I still think we still need that DM that will come in there to kind of like take the ball. But today, United were clinical. We were very clinical. First shot on target, first goal. We were clinical, which is something that we have not been doing in recent weeks. So today, that was the big difference today. We were clinical and we were, and I always tell you, if your goalkeepers and your defense keep you in the game, which Chelsea, they always do for Chelsea from time and time again, but we go and attack to always score 1 or 2 games. So all we just need is for us to fix the back line. And bro, I tell you what, we're doing a title charge second of the season. We are doing a title charge.
Edwin, let's move on because NK is kind of frying my brain with this title charge talk. Well, what was your thoughts? Obviously, there were some dramatic scenes. Rashford, he got on the score sheet. But before we touch on him, another big thing in the game was Ralph Rangnick's substitutions. He took off Cristiano Ronaldo, and obviously the camera was targeted on Cristiano Ronaldo. You can see that it was quite upset. It was publicly upset. It's something that he hates being subbed anyway. No matter whether it's the 70th minute, the 89th minute, he likes to stay on the pitch because he can always score a goal. What was your thoughts of Ralph Rangnick's substitutions today? Obviously, you know, he went to 5 at the back as well when he brought on Harry Maguire, your favourite player. And you know what was your thoughts about his decision making to take off Cristiano, bring on Sharp the defensive Maguire? Do you feel like he learnt from Aston Villa, like in the game?
I think he did. So look, because what would have happened if that goal they scored went in earlier and we had a whole 10 minutes to defend? We would have just been pushed back. So I think he learned. Okay, cool. Just park the bus, keep 5, take Ronaldo off. He's not really had the best of games. You know what I mean? Obviously, he had the chest that he helped set up Bruno then passed on to Greenwood.
Bruno's on fire now, you know. Bruno's looking like he's getting 1-2 form now. I know you have your reservations, but you know.
No, he played much better. He played much better, but just a few things. Like I remember one time he passed the ball to Greenwood and he was complaining at Greenwood for not getting the ball. And it was a poor pass. So I was like, "What's this guy doing?" But look, yeah, one thing. As much as I would say when they have it back, he had a good game. You know what I mean? The only other thing he should have done, I don't know what he was thinking when he could have made it 4-1 when he tried to chip it.
I know.
But apart from that, I feel it was good substitutions. Bring on another defender, park bus, take Ronaldo off. He never had the best of games anyway. I know he wanted to stay on and score. I think it worked out. Look, we conceded one, but we still won the game. He brought Rashford in, and Rashford got a goal, and Rashford probably needs it for his confidence. So
Definitely.
I think it was a good substitution. Like, especially on the back of how our last game went, when we didn't actually. His substitutions this game was a bigger improvement than the last game, basically.
I was saying, that I was worried that I was saying to NK before we went live that I was worried that Ronaldo's reactions could like alter the decision making of the manager in maybe future games. I know like Ronaldo's passionate, and I know NK made a good point. So he said, obviously we need guys like that at the team. We need guys like that at the club. We need guys that are getting angry when they're being subbed. We need guys that are upset when they don't score. That's a valid point, and it's what we lack right about now in terms of like players. Like,
but do you know what I think the manager? I don't think, because you know what I would say the manager's a grown man as well. Like, he's like grown man in sense of football, and like you could tell he probably like you can see him talking to Ronaldo. You know what I mean? Grab him by his arm and just said, look, you've come off. Rashford's probably got a goal with it worked out. You know what I mean? So.
But if that was someone, if that was a Sancho he yanked off, he ain't having a conversation like that with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
because Sancho wouldn't react like that. Sancho wouldn't react like that. Yeah, Sancho, he will moan, but he won't go and sit on the step like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ronaldo is one of those players. Yeah, he's very mature now. Look, by the time they go to the dressing room, he will forget all about it and say, hey, let's focus on like what do you call it, West Ham game. That's how professional he is. He ain't happy in the moment, but the minute he goes to the dressing room, bro, he will forget about it and say, hey, let's look forward to like what do you call it, West Ham. And I think Ralph to understand that too. That's why he was just kind of like talking too. Sometimes, as I said to you, you knew those kind of like hungry players too, but at the same time too, they need to just do that. Sometimes we do certain stuff too for the good of the team too. He learned his lesson. I told you last week, he should have taken Cavani off because where the game was, we didn't have a counter-attack. If he left Ronaldo on at 2-0 down, at 2-0 up, and we couldn't get a third goal, and let's go to make it 2-1. It just sets up a whole navy ending, But he took him off because in terms of like counter, we needed a pace. Rashford came on, boom, third goal done. And at 3-0, well, they could have scored 1, 2, and no way we were going to make them score 3. And no way. I told you, my boy Raf was shaking their hand before the game, and no way that was going to happen, bro. And no way, bro.
Do you know what? Yeah, NK's just jinxing it because you know what? When Brentford scored, in my heart, do you know what's funny? In my heart, I was thinking, I just have flashbacks of the Aston Villa game. And I know that Manchester United is just so unpredictable that you just got to expect the unexpected. But back in the days, you would never be thinking a team will come back against Manchester United and equalise or whatever like that. But that game, like today against Brentford, had me thinking like that because of what we've been through all season. And it's not just that game, all season. So, do you know what I mean? Hopefully we can go on a decent run, get these games. The formation's looking like something that we can build on. We mentioned it the last chat, the last sort of vid, that it looks like something we can build on. We've had another 45 minutes a game where we've had good football. And hopefully, we can continue and go from 45 minutes to 70 minutes, maybe 90 minutes, and control the game, like what Ralph Ragnick keeps saying. Control the game. So look, obviously the Brentford manager mentioned stuff about how we changed formation, we changed shape, we went 5 at the back, whatever like that. We're changing our tactic against a small Brentford. Then he mentioned Sancho, right? And he said, how we played, we couldn't open them up in the first half, and then we had a guy that we paid 73 million for, whatever, sitting on the bench, and we didn't want to bring him on. What were your thoughts to that comment and Sancho being on the bench? And do you feel like he has a point? Do you feel like we're kind of wasting Sancho, or do you feel like
no, Sancho wasn't on the bench today. He was actually left out of the team because apparently he had to attend a funeral today, so he wasn't even in the team today. But anyway, look, he can say all he want to say too. I personally, I just feel like Sancho, young player, yes, we pay a lot of money for him, but I don't feel like he just at that stage where we have to throw him into them kind of like physical Premier League games away from home, because you knew today's game was going to be physical, kind of like battle and stuff like that. So sometimes you just need to just slowly, if I was a manager right now, especially since he has struggled to get inside it, I would be using him more on the home games than using him on our away games, and just like slowly kind of like let him get back onto his feet. I've seen Pep done it from time and time again. When Bernardo Silva came his first season, he hardly used to play games. Now look, he's always starting games and everything. Don't let these people get into your head. That's the thing. Like these managers, they lost the game. He still has to come to Old Trafford. So maybe it's just like laying foundation for when we play them again. You know, I don't care. Chelsea play 3 at the back. That's almost like 5 at the back. They do that. Chelsea play them in a League Cup. I watched that game. They nicked that goal 1-0 too.
Yeah.
So, bro, at the end of the day, you need to look after your club. I could not care less if we had 200 or 300 billion players on the pitch and we still won. At the end of the day, we won. He can win all he want to win. Manchester United beat Brentford. And not a lot of teams have done that this season. Not a lot of teams have done that, especially at home.
Brentford is a really difficult team to play, man. You can see how, teams struggle playing against them. They're an organised team. They can counter-attack, they can attack. They're just well-drilled. And we know with Manchester United, any team that's well-drilled against us, it always causes us stress. But for some reason, do you know what I mean? They played like that 5 midfielders, and not 5, that 3 with the 2 wing backs. So they were looking to overrun us. They done their homework, obviously. They knew about us and our weaknesses. They knew about, exploiting Dalot's side, etc. But Dalot, saying his name, our fullbacks had a really good, decent game, I thought. I didn't think they done too bad defensively. They done well. I see Dalot making last-ditch tackles as well. He's definitely giving Aaron Wan-Bissaka something to think about. Do you know what I mean? And it's not straightforward enough for Wan-Bissaka coming into the starting lineup and say, yeah, this is my position. So I feel like he can only breed a nice competitive spirit in the club and hopefully lift his performances just like Tellez lifted Shaw's performances. Tellez as well got whipped in a few balls. And you know what I mean? It's basics. You hear me saying, yeah, he whipped in a few balls, because when you look at our fullbacks, it's not something that is common with our fullbacks, even though you would expect it to be. It's a simple thing that whipping in across, our fullbacks should be doing it, but they don't do it often enough like we would like. But what we're seeing is guys like Tellez, whipping in that multiple crosses, which is good and it's refreshing to see. So Manchester United, you know what? We're 7th right about now. We've got West Ham, who's above us. Am I correct? In our next game. So hopefully if we win against them, then we go about above them by what, like 1 or 2 points.
Yeah, but we still got a game in hand with them too. Anyway, we still got a game in hand with them too. But yeah, and then we got
today
was a positive. Yeah, I think so. But today it was positive too. We actually have 3 academy players scoring today. We actually had 3 academy players: Elanga, Greenwood, and then Rashford. That's 3 academy players scoring today, which was very.
Let's touch on Elanga. Let's touch on Elanga and Rashford. Start with Elanga, man. What is your thoughts on Elanga, man? He needs his props, man. He needs his shout out.
Yeah, I think he done well today. First half, it was all about his hard working. Helping back Tellez and everything like that. He helped the team running back. I think we needed that, because one thing that we haven't associated so far with our wing backs or our wingers is that they don't really track back enough to help us defend as a team. And with him on the pitch first half, I think he done that quite well, because considering Brentford too, they play 3 at the back, so their wingers go a lot more forward too. And I think he supported it too. Look, the goal he scored, it was just very good. At the time when Ronaldo kept on dropping deep, because I think he wasn't really sure that they were going to be able to find him up there. So Ronaldo was dropping very, very deep.
It reminded me of Dalot's goal for some reason. That central pass, Dalot did that little header, knocked it in. In that Europa League, his first goal.
Yeah. It was just that, but the thing is, as I said to you, we were just struggling to find our strikers. For him to be the only one to make a run, that was just
his movement. Good movement.
Yeah, that was very, very important, because as I told you, we were not making no runs. Ronaldo was not making no runs, because I think he was just fed up that he wasn't getting the service, so he was kind of dropping deep. Greenwood wasn't making no kind of run like that.
But isn't this the point?
The only one that anticipated that ball.
Let me jump this in. Our players are there's no options. I know when we've looked at it as fans, we've looked at our attack and said, when Cavani came in, was just Cavani, his movement is amazing. And it's quite frankly, you're looking at it thinking but all our strikers, all our forwards should be making this movement. When I look at Liverpool and look at City, they're always doing that run when the players got the ball there. And midfielders got
they got creative guys. How many times do you see Trent whipping, bossing from deep left and right, and Henderson. It's all about creativity. And as I tell you today, Bruno was the only one creating. If
you're making a movement, you'll force even the guys that are less creative, like Fred. You'll force those guys to make a pass, even if they're not as creative, because your movement is going to automatically say, "Let me whip in the ball."
If you watch the game, the first half, Ronaldo was making these runs, but they were not finding him. And as a striker too, and the way Man United were playing today, but we kept the ball, and it was always like Brentford was literally defend in shape. So as a striker, you're not even touching the ball. Like literally, Ronaldo could have gone like 15 whole minutes or 20 without touching the ball if he doesn't drop deep. And you get frustrated anytime you make a run and Bruno couldn't find him from time and time again. And at some point, you switch off. Strikers literally switch off to say, hey, there's no point making this run because they're not going to find me. You know, but when you got guys, like if Pogba and Bruno was in the team, trust me when I say that these guys are going to make forward run all the time. But as I said to you, Elanga was very smart because even though like Ronaldo and Greenwood were not trusting the guys to find him, when Fred was on the ball, only him for let me make a run and Fred will find me. And he made a run so late for him to stretch the way he did, stretch it and head at the ball. Bro, that was a well taken. Like it looked easy, but everything leading up to it was very good. That's what you expect from a winger, making those runs and using your pace as an advantage, man. You know what? I will be surprised if he doesn't start against West Ham. I will be surprised if he doesn't start against West Ham. Even Villa, he should have even scored a goal against Villa, man. Yeah. Sure, as long as he work hard, I don't see how he should still keep his place in the team. Even if it's rotation, just keep on using him.
Ed Weezy, before I ask you for your man of the match, now I can finally ask that because we got a win. What was your thoughts on Rashford? Do you feel like he should still be sitting on the bench, or do you feel like he needs more minutes? Should he be starting in our next game since he was rested? I would say.
I'll think feed him in slowly. You know what I mean? Give him some more game time, potentially, and play. You know, I feel like he's had the last couple of years. He had so much going on outside of the sport. You can see he's affected his game. And I don't think he's out of form because he's struggling with football. You can just tell there's so much going on probably in his life because he looks so disconnected to football. So it was good to see him get the goal, and I just want him to build on that. That's it.
Even the celebrations wasn't as
he did. He didn't really he didn't even look like it was. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's a lack of care. I think he's just got too much going on. You can tell he's got like a lot of what they say, heavy as a crown. As who wears it in it, and you can just tell he's got a lot going on.
Heavy as the heavyweight of crown.
I just feel like he can take some time to himself, even give him a couple of days off or a holiday. But I hope he can build. Like he's still young, he's got all the attributes. Because Rashford on form, he can finish, he can dribble, he's fast. It's just that he's not been putting it together. So it's good to see him get on a score sheet. Because usually when he comes on, he kind of like disappears. So it's good to actually see him score. And actually score from the right-hand side because he struggles playing on that side.
It's interesting how a lot of these goals, of recent anyway, he's scored like that, where like, you know, it'll be like a long ball and then he's running onto it, he takes it in his stride and puts it in the net. So maybe he's trying to tell us something about how we should be using him. I don't know. Like maybe he's trying to tell us how we should be using him. But who was your man of the match anyway? And worst performed, Edwin?
I feel like worst performed. Who struggled today? It's hard to say because no one was like really, really poor, if that makes sense. You know what? For having a quiet game, if I'm looking at the attack, I'll probably have to go with because Greenwood got a goal, Elanga got a goal, Bruno got an assist, maybe Ronaldo. And that's not because he had a poor game. Two. Like, it's not because he had a poor game, it's just that he was very quiet.
That's fair.
Midfield didn't play too bad. Look, McTominay done that great piece of skill in the middle where he won the ball, run past the player and passed it. Fred got the assist. So, do you know what? I would say the gear for my, because without his saves in the first half, we will not even have the chance to win the game. But also, honourable shout out to Delors because he's not been getting the greatest of praise as a Man United player, but he had a great game today. Defensively, he played really well. Got the headers in, got the tackles in, and he done well overall. So for me, I would say Ronaldo had a quiet game. Yeah, and De Gea probably was our best player, especially in the first half. Without his saves, then we wouldn't have been there. So
30 picks. NK. Worst perform, best perform, man of the match.
Worst perform. I'm tempted to give it to Maguire, because we have a clean sheet and then he came up and we didn't get a clean sheet. But I don't know. I think worst perform, I'll probably say Ronaldo. I think he had a very quiet game today too, which was rightly so. But when he dropped deep too and he tried to link up play too, he was still like misplacing passes where he couldn't do the 1-2 and kind of like go to. So, and I was a bit kind of a worry for him too. Sometimes a striker, when you're not scoring goals too, you have to be like see how the second goal was when he came in and was not selfish, just like lay onto Bruno. That's what sometimes you need to do when you're not getting the service that you need and then you come and join in. Make sure that your link-up play is very good. And I think he didn't do a lot of that. He came in deep. He was misplacing certain balls. He couldn't do the 1-2 of them. I think he was just very off, just trying to just kind of like do that at a time too. And I think that was his frustration too when it took him off, just mumbling too. He wasn't good at it, especially when we were just like 2-0 up and we're trying to see the game out from what happened last week, giving a goal away. When you go off, just leave the manager for the manager to just manage the game from the sideline. Don't give him additional pressure by moaning and distracting him on the touchline, because at that time he needs to manage the game from down on. So that bit about him probably needs to still working on. Best perform. I'm torn between three people. I'm torn to be giving it to Raf for sticking with the lineup. He could have easily, after Villa, could have easily brought Maguire into the team today, but he didn't. He could have, he could have probably left Elanga out and brought Rashford on. He didn't, kept it the same as today, but still, I'm not going to give it to him. De Gea too kept us in, but he's been doing it for some time now. I feel like we just used to it. Guy that I'm going to give it to has to be McTominay, because today, when I saw that Matic wasn't playing the sixth, I thought it was the wrong move, because we don't have no one to play that holding midfield role. He done well today in terms of when he had the ball, even though his weakness is passing, but he substituted that from running with the ball. Because look, maybe I cannot pass my way to create chances, but I can run with the ball. And he had legs to kind of move the ball with his leg by running and dribbling. And he was very, very impressive, It was very, very, it's just kind of maybe just start thinking against West Ham. Yeah. If he's fit, I know he went down injured, but if he's fit, do we play him or do we start Matic, But he done well. I still feel we need a DM, but today he done well in terms of he didn't lose much of the ball too, kept it simple as what it's to do. He was doing the tackles too, very good, very professional too, and he was able to carry us forward, especially in the second half when we kind of ran out of space to passes too. He was able to kind of carry us forward, and that was very, very, very big kind of a performance for him, especially since we say that he can't play the DM. He played that DM position today. Very good today.
It's a key position, so I respect that. I mean, that position there, obviously every Man United fan knows, is pivotal. The midfielder's pivotal as a whole, but him being able to play that position and do a good job today, hopefully he can do it more often and him and Matic can interchange, because what's happening right about now is when Pogba gets fit, do you know what I mean? We could be looking at potentially Pogba and Bruno with either Scott McTominay.
And we need that, because creativity-wise, we need that, because look, this team can score goals if you give them creativity. They can score goals if you give them creativity, bro, man. So Pogba, I'm actually looking forward to Pogba coming back. I'm actually looking forward.
Be interested to see. Exactly. So I think it's a tough one. So my man of the match will be David De Gea again, because he just got us out of some trouble. I was seeing some opportunities there thinking, this is going to be a goal. Somehow David De Gea got a foot to it. He was making a lot of saves with his feet. And some people may say it's easy, but when you're a good manager, he makes certain saves look easy as well. That wouldn't be easy for someone else. So I'm happy that he made some key saves. So he's the man of the match from me. But I have to give an honourable shout out to Elanga, because he got his first senior goal. You know what I mean? He's been putting in the work, the grind. He's the hungry Rashford.
No, his second senior goal. He scored against Wolves. Second
senior goal. Sorry. Do you know what I mean? He scored with his head. He's hard working. And then obviously Rashford as well. I'll give him a bit. He's been taking a lot of stick. He came on, he got the goal, do you know what I mean? And hopefully it does a lot for his confidence. Whatever he's going through outside of the footballing game, outside of football, I hope that does him a world of good and he comes back stronger, do you know what I mean? Because we all know that life is peak, right? You know what I mean? Especially during these COVID times. So shout out to Rashford, shout out to Elanga, but man of the match, David De Gea. Look, guys, thank you for giving your opinions, giving your thoughts. Guys, remember to follow, like, comment, subscribe, share it. Remember to like Instagram at OT99 Banter Room, Twitter at 99 Banter, TikTok at OT99 Banter Room, all one word. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Peace, guys.